Hello, welcome to the weekly reset. I'm Cash the Stampede. Today, no maintenance notes. The devs are hard at work at a couple of fixes and balance changes that will be talked about soon. So for the moment, let's go over the items in the Smugglers Network. William Blackwood, of course, will still have the same weekly seasonal items here available for you. Pick them up as needed. But for our limited time items this week, we have the Mark of the Wolf major furniture. We also have the Shot Carving Station major furniture, Tooling's Guidance major furniture, and the Bowie Locker 1 major furniture. Wailing Ward Blueprint. The Storm Woven Symphony armor is available alongside the Tanasha and the Rhapsody of the Deep. For weapons, we have Endless Requiem, Urban's Great Gun, the Dahaka Torpedoes, and everyone's favorite, the Infernal Maw. For new captains looking to expand their fleet, the bottom section here will have all of our additional medium ship blueprints. You do have to purchase the blueprint and then take it over to the shipwright so they can make the ship for you once you have the materials. For anyone still grinding, the final week of the Moonshine Larceny event has arrived, so you will have this last week to finish all of the challenges that were available in there. All you did was get some free drinks and a few free chests out of those challenges, so collect those while you still have some time. We also have the Reaver's Revenge, that is the Undead Lestari, as well as the Vikram Rajan fight should be here as well. For those of you collecting the cosmetic, you do have to go into the Call to Arms event to get the final two pieces of that gear. I just learned that myself this weekend. Next week we have Glory Adorned, Serpent's Wrath, and then the Undead Zamaharibu. So we have two Undead Sea Monster events that'll be going back to back. So now we've wrapped up the weekly reset, but don't click away just yet, Captain, because while we don't have any maintenance notes we need to talk about, sadly we do need to discuss the letter from the producer that got released last week. Now, most of the Skull and Bones community is going to be well aware of this, so those of you who jump to the comments to say this is old news, yes, you are correct, but this is not news that I have, this is news that I have not covered here on the channel with my own personal community. So, the unfortunate news we received, coming straight from the developers, says, based on what we've learned throughout testing and most importantly your input, we've made a strategic decision to delay the launch of Faction Wars. While originally planned to launch as part of a mid-season update, Faction Wars won't be coming to Year 2 Season 2, allowing us more time to test and polish the feature and deliver it when it is truly ready. We know many of you were looking forward to it, so this wasn't an easy decision. For us, this isn't just about taking more time, we're doubling down on our efforts. Our team are fully focused on delivering a meaningful first iteration of Faction Wars that will serve as a founding layer for the new endgame. And the most fortunate news, to give the team the time they need to refocus on Faction Wars, we will be extending Season 2 for a week and pausing work on other major key features announced for Year 2, Season 3, and 4. For those of you who don't know what that means the melee land combat that they had been teasing, that will not be coming next season. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Season 3. And then we were also getting a feature that was going to allow us to swap out our first mate. So the first mate that we all currently have, we were going to be able to go on some sort of quest or unlock new first mate, something along those lines. And they were also going to come with some stat bonuses, if I remember correctly. If I'm remembering this wrong, jump to the comments and, kind of help out. But that's not coming, and I believe those were the major things that were discussed. If there is something again that I'm missing, jump it down to the comments so we can make sure everyone is aware. Now, also, the devs did do a Twitch live stream, and during that live stream, they answered a lot of questions about, of course, the concerns about what's most of the community was going to have with this not showing up. But they also answered a few other questions as well. For anyone who did not watch the entire stream, and for anyone who does not want to go back and watch it, we have a lovely member of the Skull and Bones subreddit by the name of Arctic Fox 4 they essentially take notes from the actual stream itself and type them out completely. So while I'm not going to go over all of the notes here, I'm just going to go over a couple of highlights. I will throw the link for this down in the descriptions. I highly recommend reading this instead of watching the entire dev stream, because while it was informative, not everything flows as well as this actual article, because sometimes they did have to go back and answer questions twice, so it may take you a lot longer to get to the information you really need. So again, jump into the descriptions, click on the subreddit link, and that'll take you right over to the actual article itself. So we did find out during that dev stream that the updated roadmap will be coming at a later date, because of course everything was already planned and we all kind of expected things to happen a specific way this season. But with the delay of Faction Wars, we'll be seeing exactly how that change will affect the rest of the content for the season soon enough. The delay of the Faction Wars, according to the article, was due to both internal feedback and the external player expectations they've seen around the topic. They want to deliver something that matches up to those expectations, and for that they need some more time. It will be a major part of Skull and Bones going forward, so they want it to come together solidly. I understand that, right? This is supposed to be the new in-game activity, the thing that you are going to be interacting with the most once you complete your daily grind of picking up pieces of 8, gathering manufactories throughout the season, things of that nature. Because right now all we really do in the game is collect materials from manufactories that we have, collect the 8s from the manufactories that we have. All of that's happening passively at this point, so we don't even have to interact with the system too much. We refund our manufactories, and then we just get to farming whatever event or whatever thing that's going on in the world. It's pretty dry when it comes to actual in-game content, compared to other games, but that's the problem, right? The developers don't want us to only be sailing around waiting for the next activity to pop up, to go jump on it, beat the shit out of it, and then move on to the next thing. That's like literally what most of our Saturday streams are, just us moving across the map like a goddamn virus, taking out everything in our path. They don't want that to always be the case, and I respect that, but unfortunately that does take a little bit of time. Next was future major features. Now these are going to be put on hold not only to work on Faction Wars, but also to improve existing core systems in the game, improve some underutilized aspects, fix bugs, improve quality of life, and so on. As I just mentioned, the land combat and officers should see a delay, while we expect some improvements to the Ascension system, to our warehouse management, and the overlapping of events. So while it sounds like they're just kind of, delaying things just to delay them, there is a clear plan on what needs to be fixed during the delay, and those were some of the highlights that were brought up. Faction War details were offered, at least some. There will be more when it's closer. Let's see, you can expect some form of PvP to be incorporated into it, but as always with the PvE part of the game, it will be optional. Narratively, it takes some inspiration from the Franco-Dutch War. Apparently there will be the ability to switch sides fairly frequently for those who want to feel more piratey, though the feature will mainly fulfill the privateer fantasy. Now initially I was a little bit kind of leery about hearing about this, because when we start to choose which side that we're going to commit to with the Faction Wars, I'm the type of person that wants a clear indication on which side is winning, and the only way to do that is to make one side stick to one faction and the other side stick to the other faction. But we're pirates, and it is hella piratey to essentially get everything you want from one faction and then join the other one and get everything that you want from there, and just kind of keep swinging back and forth until they get pissed off about your activities. Yeah, so I do respect the fact that they do want to put that in there, even more so if they can manage to put in some sort of mechanic that works along with it. Like, I'm not entirely even sure what I would want here, but definitely something, maybe not necessarily a in-game like purchasing penalty of sorts, but maybe, you know, getting attacked or getting ambushed, which would make total more sense about why you're being ambushed in the game versus the current ambushes that just happen randomly. Like, you know, you would know that as soon as you betray this faction, you're going to be dealing with, you know, ambushes and certain sort of pushback. That sounds fun. Again, sounds very piratey, so I do kind of respect that angle of what's going on there. Now, the remainder of the details in there, again, were just largely questions that were being answered from members of the community who were just trying to get what they could out of the developers. So, talking about things like new pets, saying that dog pets could potentially be a thing. Someone even brought up, can we potentially even get a tiny dragon on our ship? Like, that would be really cool. A little tiny baby elder dragon just, you know, swimming around above the little platform on your deck. Like, that would be pretty cool. So there was a lot discussed in there. Again, highly recommend you read it, so it'll help you get a really good temperature of the community and what they want and what they like. But the remaining things discussed in the article, outside of what we've already talked about, updated roadmap, delay of faction wars, major features, and faction war details, there was also a little bit discussed about Season 2, how it was generally well received for both the Frigate and Wolves Hollow. There is a bit of work on Wolves Hollow that is going to be done, a bit more improvements. They understand that everyone feels that there's a lack of gameplay depth with the Megafort, so they're going to keep on listening to feedback so they can try to do what they can to make it better. Warehouse space is being approached from a couple of different angles. Says that, of course, more space is always good, but they plan on getting rid of a few redundant items in our warehouse. That way that things can kind of be streamlined naturally from just removing them from the game altogether. Overlapping events is an issue they're aware of, and they're intending to make some more predictable changes to those routes. My community actually likes them when we're together on Saturdays. Of course, when one solo captain is going through one of these and they have to go through 7 events, that is just not fun. But we do feel like one route should be specifically designed like this for large groups. So jump in the comments and let us know how you think about that, because I feel that the Armada doesn't want them to leave completely. Narrative, they also do understand that the cutscenes have been well received, so there will be a lot more of them in Season 3 related to the faction wars, apparently. And let's see, Freeman's Grand Heist also ties into the faction wars in some way, apparently. That's pretty cool. We've been hearing about how Uriko Freeman was a big part of this, you know, area that we're in the game before we showed up, and we sort of get letters from him during Season 1 or during the first year, but we don't really know the full story about him and Skurlock, so that will somehow be a part of the narrative going forward. And let's see, everything else below that is questions. So a lot of the stream turned into just answering questions from the community, people asking if we can have dog pets, if we can have like tiny elder dragon pets. That was something that was talked about, but that's again gonna be down in the comments, or not in the comments, in the description. So if you feel like you want to give it a full read and give it to your undivided attention, is what I'm trying to say, go ahead and check that out. It will be down there for you. Now, as for me, for the moment, I am giving the developers the benefit of the doubt. I do feel that they have earned a bit of goodwill with how they've been managing the game so far. I mean, no, I don't love 100% of everything they do, but you do have to realize that Skull and Bones right now is currently the most popular that it has ever been. And while that may not be a lot compared to other games, that is huge for us. This game was largely kind of forgot about from people last year, or just ignored from last year, forgot about from the rest of the people. But some captains, some people, genuine interest is starting to be built in the game, and I know that the developers see this, and that's kind of what's driving, at least what I believe, what is driving their momentum at the moment, at least the decisions that they're making at the moment. Because yes, they could do everything that they need to just satisfy us, to keep us happy, but that doesn't move the numbers. That doesn't satisfy the newcomers to the game. So I feel like they want this stuff to land right, right the first time, so that if we do get a couple of new captains in, they'll see what's going on and they'll at least enjoy themselves and potentially be interested to come back for more, to experience more. I get it, and at least in that sense. The problem is, we'll only be able to allow this whole, give us time because we want it to be better excuse for only so long. Again, they've earned this goodwill because of how they've been handling the game, but if this excuse continues to pop up, the reaction to it, the goodwill that we're, giving it, is going to be lessened and lessened and lessened over time. So I don't want the devs to take advantage of this space that we're giving them, right? We want them to take the time to bring these things, but we do eventually want them to bring these things. I mean, they've completely cut out the second half of the map, something that I do believe they may want to turn into like a end game area, which I would totally be okay with. Kind of gives me that whole One Piece vibes, like, the part of the map we're on right now is, the current area, and maybe the new area of the map is our quote unquote new world, right? You need to be a certain brand of pirate to be able to go there. You don't have to get through the red line or nothing like that, but you do need to be, made a specific way to exist on that part of the map. And I would like to see something, maybe something like that. And maybe the faction wars is going to lead into it. We won't know. We do need the developers to be a little bit more forthcoming about what they're doing, about what they're bringing, because for now, all of it is just very mysterious, not misleading, but certainly not the best place that we want to be in. But what are your thoughts? I want you captains to jump down into the comments and let me know how you feel about the delay. Are you okay with it? Is this something that's pretty much wrapped up the season for you? Because I can imagine most captains out there have done everything that they need to do outside of, a couple events that'll pop up throughout the last month here. But yeah, are you okay with it? You feel like, this is a bad move? Maybe we just need more content now, not better content later. What are your thoughts? That is going to do it for me, captains. As always, I have been Captain Cash the Stampede. If you have any questions, drop them below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the seas. Take it easy out there.